But there's still one uncomfortable truth we haven't talked about yet. And once you see this, it changes how you look at your entire life. Because stress isn't just something you experience, it's something you can accidentally build your identity around. Let me explain. When you've been living with high cortisol for long enough, being busy starts to feel like being valuable. Being overwhelmed starts to feel like being important. Always thinking, always planning, always doing starts to feel like who you are. So when things slow down, when there's nothing urgent, no pressure, no chaos, you don't feel relieved, you feel off, almost like something is missing. That's not random. That's your nervous system confusing activity with safety. Because for so long, staying alert, staying on, staying slightly stressed felt like the only way to stay in control. This is why some people can't relax even on vacation. They sit on a beach, perfect weather, nothing to do, and within minutes, their mind starts searching for problems, emails, deadlines, what they should be doing next, what might go wrong. It's not because they want to be stressed, it's because their body has learned calm equals unfamiliar, stress equals normal. And if you don't consciously break that pattern, you will carry it into everything. Your work, your relationships, even your rest. You'll turn rest into something you have to optimize. You'll turn relaxation into another task. You'll try to do it right. And without realizing it, you bring stress into the very thing that's supposed to remove it. That's why what I'm about to tell you matters more than any technique. Because if you miss this, you'll use all three habits and still feel stuck. You cannot heal stress in the same state that created it. Read that again. Because most people try to fix stress while still rushing, still multitasking, still mentally overwhelmed. They do the breathing exercise while checking their phone. They splash cold water but immediately jump into chaos. They try to relax but their mind is still racing. And then they say, "It didn't work." No, it didn't land. Because your nervous system doesn't just respond to actions. It responds to context, to presence, to whether you actually allowed the moment to register. So here's the shift. When you do these habits, don't rush through them. Don't treat them like tasks. Treat them like signals. When you take that physiological sigh, don't just breathe. Feel the inhale. Feel the expansion. Feel the release on the exhale. Let your body register. We are safe right now. When you splash cold water on your face, don't just wake yourself up. Pause for a second. Notice the drop in your heart rate. Notice the shift. Let your system absorb it. When you do the shaking, don't judge it. Don't try to look normal. Don't try to control it. Let it be messy. Because stress is messy. And release is not supposed to look perfect. This is where the real change happens. Not in the action itself, but in whether your body actually believes it's over. And once your body starts believing that, everything begins to shift. Your thinking slows down, not in a bad way, in a clear way. You stop jumping to conclusions. You stop catastrophizing. You start responding instead of reacting. Your emotional range expands. You're not just stuck between anxiety and exhaustion anymore. You can actually feel calm, content, focused, present. Your energy stabilizes. You're not riding spikes and crashes all day. You have steady fuel, the kind that doesn't come from caffeine or urgency, but from a regulated system. And maybe most importantly, you get your attention back. Because high cortisol doesn't just make you stressed, it fragments your attention. It pulls you in 100 directions. It makes it hard to stay with anything long enough to feel grounded. But when that noise quiets down, you can actually be where you are, in a conversation, in your work, in your own thoughts. And that changes everything. Now here's something most people don't expect. When your cortisol drops, you might start noticing things you've been ignoring. Tension in certain relationships, habits that drain you, environments that keep you on edge. Because stress doesn't just exhaust you, it also numbs you. And when that numbness fades, clarity comes back. Sometimes gently, sometimes all at once. So if things feel different after you start this, that's not a setback. That's awareness. And awareness is where real change begins. Now, let's bring this back to something simple, because it's easy to get overwhelmed with information like this. You don't need to fix your entire life today. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need to eliminate all stress. You just need to show your body, even once, what it feels like to come back down. Because once your system remembers that feeling, it starts looking for it again. And that's how change actually happens. Not through force, not through discipline alone, but through experience. So tomorrow, when you wake up, before the world gets to you, before the noise, before the pressure, go to the sink. Cold water, 10 splashes. Pause, take 2 slow breaths, double inhale, long exhale. And for just a few seconds, do nothing. Let your body realize there is no threat right now. That moment, as small as it seems, might be the first real break your nervous system has had in a long time. And if you repeat that day after day, moment after moment, you won't just feel less stressed. You'll become someone who is harder to stress. And that is a completely different life. So don't overthink this. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start with one signal, one moment, one interruption of the pattern. Because your body is already trying to heal. It just needed you to understand how to help it. And now you do.